Hey everybody, Vicki Fitch here, your direct sales expert and the host of your new show. First of all, we've got Step Up, Stand Out, and Speak, but we're also doing the We're Not Gonna Take It segment. So really quick, I know the broadcast I keep goofing up and marking 11:30 p.m. instead of a.m. So I apologize for those of you who are setting your calendars based on what we've got going on there. We're going to try and get that under control for you. But if you have not hit the share button yet, hit it out. I got to make sure things are working. I see it's working on Periscope, but Facebook is the one that gets really tricky. It does not want me to go early. And so it tends to give me, early, which is late. I switched the time to try and make sure we could go. If it doesn't work, this is such an important broadcast. I will go back and reschedule it for 10 minutes from now to make sure. But I think we're good. All right. Okay, guys, so here's the topic. If you guys have been watching the show for a while, you know that we've been discussing the We're Not Going to Take It broadcast. Put a one in the chat box if you're familiar with that. And again, if you have not hit that share button yet, hit the share button because I bet you or someone you know has been taken advantage by a business or a brand. As a matter of fact, just put a two in the chat box if you've been taken advantage of by any business or brand in the past, and especially right now during COVID, because I got to tell you, people are doing things that are so unethical. It kind of makes me nutty. All right, so let's talk about where the broadcast is going to go. And again, for those of you who are watching the replay because you thought it was coming on later, I really do apologize. That even the timing, the timer says it's another 10 minutes from now, but hopefully you will pop in and we can bring this together. Otherwise, like I said, what I'll do is just kind of talk about the surface of the topic and we'll kind of launch into it later. So there's lots of things going on in the media these days. That's why we started Step Up, Stand Out, and Speak. I mean, I'm sure you guys probably agree that things are a little tricky right now in the world. The world is not so simple to navigate as it used to be. There are differences of opinion, differences of the way we perceive information. People are becoming extremely divided. And that division often creates opportunity, an unfortunate opportunity for businesses or brands to take advantage. Now, we're going to be discussing some of those, but we're also going to be discussing some that have been taken advantage way before this whole diversity thing. And I will tell you, I'm not going to go into their full launch into the full broadcast about them today because today's the intro to let you guys know this is going to be a weekly segment. I'm probably going to do this one on Monday since today's Monday. I'm probably going to launch it on Mondays. I may switch that, but it'll be once a week. We will be talking about businesses and brands that are intentionally taking advantage of consumers. Now, there's research that goes into this. People are reporting different things to me, some things I've experienced myself. But what we're going to do is try and deliver the information in an informed way, like statistical. I'm still always going to have my opinion because that's who I am, but I'm going to try and give it to you in a way that you can process and relate and then make an informed decision yourself, whether or not you believe the business or brand made an intentional choice to take advantage of people. And I'll tell you, the first one up is SolarMax. So if you guys have put a 3 in the chat box, if you guys are familiar with SolarMax, put a 3 in the chat box. SolarMax I have talked about before, but we've been trying to give them a chance to pull it together and do the right thing. And they have repeatedly not only done the wrong thing, but have been extremely deceptive. You guys are going to totally be blown away when you find out some of the things these people do. But extremely deceptive in their business practices, including telling people to wait. Oh yeah, we're going to get back to you. And then trying to file liens or file, different things behind their back. And so they're really not a company that I could recommend. They're somebody, like I said, that I would put on my beware list. Capital One is another one. Now, you guys may not know this, so I'm not going to go into, again, all the details, but I promise you this is something important. If you have a credit card, you need to go check this out, and we'll be diving into the statistics or the actual logistics of how this happens, why it happens, and where you can report it and how you can try and get your money back or, get things changed because it's just not right. Now, put a 4 in the chat box if you own a credit card. Put a 4 in the chat box if you have a credit card, and that's going to be most of you. And by the way, if you guys are new to the show, we are live streaming on 7 different platforms. So thank you again for being here. My sincere apologies. I don't know why. I did it. It's me. It's all my fault. I was trying to get the schedule done, and when it pops up automatically with a 12 o'clock, and so when I move it back to the time at 11:30, it stays PM, and I keep forgetting to hit the AM. But we're gonna get that done because my intention is starting next week to actually have the week's worth of broadcasts already listed out, so you guys can see what's coming up and make sure that you tune in during those days, and that it's easier for you to go back and find things that you're looking for as well. But so as for the credit cards, those of you who have credit cards, there's a new, it's not really new. It's been going on for a little bit of time, but you probably didn't notice. And so I want to give you guys a chance to go check out your credit card statements. Now, many people put their bills on auto pay or that kind of thing. And the credit card companies now, this is, like I said, it's not just one company. Capital One, I'll tell you, does this. And I'm not going to mention the other name because I want to actually have it in my hand and looking at it, making sure so I don't accidentally, give poor information on a business or brand that isn't doing this. But the credit card companies, some more than one, I'll tell you, Capital One is doing this, but the credit card companies are doing this thing where they assess you a late charge. And I will reiterate this on the show when we're talking about the specific company, but I need you guys to go look at your credit card statements and see if this happened to you, because this is crazy. So you got to think about it. All right. So they assess a late charge on your account. So let's say maybe you have $1,000 balance or something and you're paying it off. Maybe you're paying minimum payments. Even if it's on auto pay, that it's automatically getting paid. Like I said, you guys aren't going to believe this when I get into all the details, but automatically getting paid, and they assess a late charge. Well, if you see the late charge, then you're going to call, right, and tell them, hey, there's a late charge, and they're going to go, oh, okay, no problem. But what they do is they don't take it off your current statement. So let's say your minimum payment was $39. Hey, Dawn, welcome to the broadcast. Does it include debit cards? I don't think it would, Dawn, because a debit card you can't actually have a rolling balance on, and therefore you wouldn't be able to have a late fee on. This would be a credit card activity that you'd be experiencing. So when that charge, let's just say, for instance, your monthly minimum payment is $39. I have no idea what it would be on $1,000, but your monthly minimum payment is $39. So they will charge you this $39 late fee. And then when you call in and say, hey, I wasn't late, and they go, oh yeah, sorry. Hey, Larry, welcome. Hey, oh, sorry. Yeah, we'll take it off. They're not. Now you would think, right, that they're taking it off right now. So the $39 charge, and I know this, like I said, I want to put slides together so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But before we get to that, I want you guys to look at your credit card statements and check this out. Because if you've received a late charge, this may have happened to you, and it is absolutely outrageous. Okay. So again, we're just talking a little bit about it today. Check your statements so that way when we come and do the actual broadcast, when I'm exposing the rest of Capital One's interesting, unethical, and I'm pretty sure illegal activities. I'm still working on that part too. But the $39 charge. So remember, when you have a minimum payment, okay, let's say it's the $39, and let's say the actually let me make it easier on myself and say it's a $30 minimum payment, and the late charge is $25, because that makes it easier for me to do math, and it makes it easier for you to see, because I was going to use the same number for both. So a $30 minimum payment, so you're making, right? So you have to pay, and your $30 is going automatically every single month. They erroneously identify a $25 late fee on your account. Okay. And so now you have your minimum payment, plus you have to pay your late fee, right? So you'd have $30 minimum payment plus 25 is 55. Put a 5 in the chat box if you guys are with me, because I know I don't have slides, but I want you to hear about this before we go through the slide deck, because I want you to check your own credit card statements and see if this happened to you, because I want to try and provide you guys the opportunity to get it fixed, or, well, to get your money back and try and deal with it, because it's not right. All right. So hopefully, like, I know there's a little bit of a delay. And again, if you haven't hit the share button, I hope you'll hit that share button so we can make sure other people know about this. But so that's $55 that you would need to pay, right? That's why you're calling. Oh, hey, I'm not supposed to pay 55. My minimum payment's 30, and I made it. And oh yeah, we'll take it off. So they take off the $25 off your balance. So off the $1,000 balance, they don't take it off the current statement. Okay, and this is huge, right? Thanks, Shelly. This is huge. So even though you didn't know it, right? They've taken the $30, the $25 late fee, they took it off, but it doesn't relieve you from having to pay it. You're still now behind. You are now past due, even though you weren't late, even though they took the $25 charge off. They're not taking it off on the current bill, which the current billing statement shows you owe 55. So then the next month, what happens? You get another late charge and you call back and go, how can I have a late charge? I wasn't late the first time. You initiated a late fee. And then they'll say, oh, well, no, because you still had to pay the $55. And you say, right, this is what I'm telling you, Shelly. This is why I'm exposing it. And we're going to go into more detail on another broadcast, but you guys have to check your credit card statements. So it's like, wait, no, I wasn't behind the first time for the late charge, so I can't be behind this time. So this process continues to go on. And once it's happened 3 months, even though you did nothing wrong, you were never late. Now your interest rate goes from, let's say, 15% to 32%. Now you are 90 days late and your interest rate is now 32%, even though you were never late even once. Are you guys hearing me? Because this is truth. This is happening. It's 100% truth. Okay. Hi, Sarah. Welcome. So that's what Capital One, that's what's in your wallet. There's nothing in your wallet because Capital One is taking it all. They are taking it. I mean, literally, this is outrageous behavior. And even when you bring it to their account, yes, Kim, they are crooks. Even when you bring it to their attention saying that's illegal, this is not right, it continues to happen. And then I found out Capital One is not the only company doing it. And again, I want to have the paperwork in my hand so I can give you the actual companies, but this is truth. And you need to look at your credit card statements because then your interest rate gets raised. You're paying late fees that you didn't owe. Even when they say, oh, we're taking them off. Now, I really need you guys to get this part. Think about what a cash cow that is. Just think about it for a minute. First of all, if, and I'm not saying they are, I'm really not saying this is an intentional thing. I'm also not saying it isn't because somebody recognizes what's happening here. Let's say Capital One has 10,000 customers. We know they have more, but let's just say they have 10,000 customers and they institute a $25 late fee on all 10,000 customers. Now I can't do math that well. 10,000 times 25 is $250,000 in late fees. Now let's face it. Okay, this is just 10,000. I'm using a tiny little number and their actual late fees, I think, are 39. So, these numbers are really small in comparison. But let's say they just did that arbitrarily to 10,000 people, right? Standard practices, right, Dawn? 10,000 people would be $250,000 in 1 month in cash or receivables, right, that they can bill out for. Now, how many people do you think look at their credit card statement every month to check it out? I mean, I'm being honest. I'm gonna say 80% of people don't look at it. They just have the bill paid and they're not looking because a lot of people are a little bit fearful of the balances that might be creeping up, and they just pay the bill or have it on auto pay and they never look at it. But let's just say it was only 50%. 50% of those people would call in and say, hey, that's not right. There's a problem. They still made $125,000 of fees that they weren't even owed, right? But now we take that and you multiply it times the amount of customers they do have, which is millions. And even if you just want 1 million with $25 each, that's $25 million a month. And only half will probably ever even know. I doubt even half. I mean, I'm serious. I would bet 10, 15% as a bookkeeper and accountant that helped people for many, many years. People just don't look. They don't pay attention. They just pay whatever's there and just hope it goes away. But think about that. And then if you're one of those ones that's on a auto pay from your bank and not auto pay directly through them, your payment's enough because that's the minimum payment and it should be going down instead of going up. So if you don't look at it, like I travel a lot, and then all of a sudden you got late fees after late fee after late fee, and you don't even know that it's there. And then now your interest rate's 32% from 0 to 32 or 15 to 32. What do you think about that? That is some serious, and let's face it, that's an easy way to get cash because when people call and you go, okay, yeah, we'll refund it. but you still make them pay the money now. So basically, they're getting a loan from you without your permission. And they're not paying you interest. They're making you pay interest. And if you question it or if you don't pay it, then they're going to double or triple your current interest rate. And I'm telling you, this is 100% factual. Let's see. Standard practices, they will claim, this is why you should read terms of service closely, especially when applying. They know you never read them. You know what, Don? I'm one that typically does read them. I have to admit, on credit card, I mean, I've had the same credit cards for I don't know how many years. Even back then, I mean, I've had them for what, 25, 35 years. I don't know, like forever. I haven't applied for a credit card in I don't know how long. But they have the opportunity to change the terms of service. And they do send the little flyer things in the mail that are like 38, an accordion of 38 feet long. I don't read those. That's the truth. I don't. But think about that, how much money they're making on the backs of people that are, hardworking people that don't even know that that is happening. And so when I talk to them, and again, I know I'm getting into more details, but I really want you guys to get it. When I talk to them, they said, well, we have up to from 5 to 10 days to post your payment. Hey, Mel, welcome. Think about that. 5 to 10 days to post your payment. So if you make your payment less than 10 days in advance, which is not the point of a due date of your bill. If your bill is 10 days prior, but they said they have up to 10 days to post your payments. And so if they haven't posted it by that time, they're within their rights to charge the fee. I mean, so if that is legal, which I am, by the way, researching that. And I have, again, I'll get into the rest of the details later because I want to talk to you about a couple of things and get some input from you guys so we can expose these companies they're purposefully taking advantage of people. Because if you were a CEO of a company and you didn't know that was happening and someone told you and then told the manager and then told the manager and then wrote letters to corporate about this injustice and what was wrong, you'd think they'd fix it if they wanted to. If they wanted to take care of the consumers and if they were an advocate for consumers, then they would fix it and not sweep it under the rug and just keep on keeping on. And that's why we're step up, stand out, and speak. We're talking about all kinds of issues that people don't like to talk about, or people that are embarrassed about, or people are afraid they're going to get chastised for. And then this segment is called We're Not Going to Take It. Because if you're tired of getting taken advantage of by businesses and brands, then this is the show for you. And this is the time, because I want you guys to send me your stuff. You got to do the research yourself, but I'll then dig a little deeper and I'll work on some of it too, because it's kind of our job, right? Our job as human beings is to be the best version of ourselves. And if we want to be part of a community and we want people to let us know, just like when we do Yelp reviews or different things, we want to know if a company's unethical. And we want to know because somebody's not promoting cancel culture and just saying, oh, I don't like that person, so I'm going to try and get everybody to quit working, going there. It's not that kind of thing. This needs to be researched, documented, and legit, right? And not a dispute like an opinion. What I just gave you is facts and figures. It's not opinion. You're either late or you're not late, right? And there's some stuff that's on the border, but you can be honest about that too, because they have the discretion to fix it. I mean, we all know that, right? Put a 6 in the chat box if you recognize that most companies have the authority to fix something when they've done it wrong. Now, they may not give their supervisors authority to do it. They may not make that choice to do it, but they have the authority. And so we've got to make them step up. And if we're going to continue to allow mediocre or behavior that doesn't support us as consumers, then it becomes our fault. When we know it's happening, we do nothing about it for ourselves and we say nothing about it to everybody else, then we don't have anything to really complain about. We just have to, it is what it is. And I'm not willing to step up, stand out, or speak. But if we all start getting a little bolder and we're all willing to say, hey, this happened to me. And we're all willing to say, again, do your own research, figure it out, check out your own credit card statements, see where you've been hit with late charges. Were you actually late? Look at what day the payment came in. Look at what day the payment you sent. I happen to be that analytical, detailed person. That detailed analytical person. Most people aren't. So I can only imagine how much extra money that Capital One is making. Now, this part, and again, I'm going to bring this up on the other thing, but you might find it interesting that while I was doing the research on this, because I'm a record keeper, I found a paper in a little card that I had received from a law firm like 3 years earlier from a class action suit filed against Capital One for doing the same thing on a different card. So they know they're doing it. They know what's happening, and they're continuing to do it because it's profitable enough that they didn't have to pay out enough in fines to make it worthwhile for them to stop. Okay. And again, I'm going to put all that stuff up when I do the Capital One. I'm going to show you the card. I have to, take the time to block out, some of the addresses and stuff like that. But I'm going to show you the details. I'm going to show you the information so you can see the facts, and you don't have to take my word for it. But that's what I want from you too. What businesses and brands have taken advantage of you? I'm going to tell you another one is going, I am going to name names, brother. I'm naming names. And Solar Max, if you guys are solar, we need to do solar right now. And again, we'll get into detail of each company. I'm giving them a chance. They get a chance. This is not haphazard. I give them a chance. I write letters of correspondence. We'll give them a chance to fix it, because everybody deserves a chance to fix it. But if you're going to continue taking advantage, then the world's going to know, and they get to make their own informed decision on whether or not they want to do something, or maybe they'll want to form a class action lawsuit themselves, because this is wrong. So Solar Max is the same thing. Solar, in my personal experience, because this one happens to be my own personal experience, that they have tried to take advantage over and over and over. They have done so many things. And right now, because solar is a great thing. I mean, with the heat wave that we're going through, I don't know where you guys are at. Pop in the highest temperature you've had in the last week in the chat box. Pop in the highest temperature you've experienced. Like ours was 112. And I got to say, our average probably this time of year is probably about 96, 97. I mean, a high I've ever remember experiencing is 105. So to jump up to 112 was crazy, right? The air conditioning is having a hard time staying over the, hey, WT, welcome to broadcast. Hey, Ciro's at 98. So solar is a good thing because it allows you to have your air conditioning on. Our bill sometimes used to be $650 or $700. So, it was a big deal. We both work from home. It's two stories, and we have 2 air conditioning units. And so, it was a big bill. So I believe in solar. I want you guys to know that I think solar is a great, it's a great product. You just have to find a good company, right? You have to find a good company. And I can tell you with my own personal experience, I can't say enough poor things about Solar Max. And that's true. I wrote a Yelp review letting people know what my experience was. And, I would love to hear. I got so much feedback from people saying the same thing happened to me. The same thing happened to me. They lied. They used false reports. I mean, this is all documented stuff that I went through. Like I said, you guys can do your own research. I'm going to share my own personal experiences or the documentation that I get from some of you that's verified, because we got to know. I think we need to, as a community. Hey, Lair, welcome. I think as a community, and that community doesn't mean you have to know someone in person. That community can be people, knowing people, just like we want to refer business, right? We want to refer business. If we know somebody's does great work, we want to tell everybody about it, because we want our friends and family to experience excellent quality and wonderful work, and people that we trust. Like, put a 7 in the chat box if you'd like to refer someone you trust, because man, aren't there a lot of people that are shysters out there. And right now with COVID, I've seen people trying to take advantage of people in ways I never thought possible. And I know in the solar market, because there are a lot of seniors that are struggling right now, and they're telling them they need to put solar on their homes. And I've heard of this part. They don't have a southern facing roof. They don't really have a roof that justifies solar, or there's trees that are covering it up, and they're selling solar to seniors, and it's not helping them. So they're using their cash, or, incurring a monthly payment they have to do, and it's not really helping, because it's not a roof, that's exposed to the sun enough to make a difference. And so they're taking advantage of people. And so we want those companies too. Like I said, it's not just the companies that I'm bringing to you. I want to know what companies that you guys have experienced that are taking advantage on purpose. And like I said, I might tell you that doesn't sound like they're taking advantage. It sounds like a dispute or a disagreement. And I'll be honest with you, because I'm only going to share what I know and what I believe to be true. Now, I might share and say, hey, so-and-so, or user or listener number 2 says this is what they've experienced. It has not been verified, but this is information. So we might do some of that too, but it's important that we start doing it. Good. Don't take it. Thanks, RCTD2. Anyway, I'd love to know if you guys have some opinions here, if you have some other companies or things that are troubling you, bothering you, of where you've been taking advantage of, and like I said, there's a lot of it going on, and we get to make a choice. So many of us just choose to sweep it under the rug. Many, and I'm not judging you for that. I get it. Sometimes there's some days I don't want to deal with it either. So I'm just too tired, right? There's too much. But then there's that part of me that says, the Bible says, to whom much is given, much will be required. And so, since I have the articulate ability to share and to research and dissect, that bringing that information to you guys is important. Now, like I said, that's just going to be once a week is the plan, to bring that once a week. And then, of course, you guys already know about the regular show of Step Up, Stand Out, and Speak. We talk a lot about political issues. But remember, I am still an author, speaker, international business consultant, social media strategist. I'm here to answer your questions as well. So when you guys send them in, I'm happy to deliver information on that. I just want to make sure, welcome. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Frank. I think that's it, Stacy. I'm not sure. Welcome to the broadcast. Appreciate you guys being here. We are live streaming on 7 platforms. So again, if I can't see your comments, if you're in a watch party, I cannot see those. So my apologies. If you're inside a group, it will pop up as Facebook user. So I cannot say anything to you by name unless you follow those instructions and give StreamYard permission for me to view your profile or your picture. Anyway, guys, any questions that you guys have? Because we're not going to take it anymore. We're going to start exposing those businesses and brands. And I think we should also, at the same time, try and find a way to share a brand that's really stepped up and stood out. Said, hey, they took care of this situation happened, and they went above and beyond because they do care about people and they know people are struggling, instead of companies like Rushmore Loan Management, which is another company on the radar list, that's been taking advantage of people. Like I said, we got to let people know. There are consumer boards, there's federal agencies that you can report them to, state agencies that you can report them to, and they don't really do a follow-up. You have to do the follow-up part yourself. But again, if enough people are complaining about experiences they've had, there's an opportunity. And if you've looked at some of these companies, like I went to the Better Business Bureau, for instance, on Rushmore. Even though the Better Business Bureau, I think, gives them a 5-star rating, every comment is negative. Like every comment is like less than 0. If I could say, give them a negative, I would. And you just read hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of comments telling you how they've been taken advantage of. And somehow the Better Business Bureau gives them a 5-star rating. So that makes you lose any, thank you, Mel, for the super hearts. I appreciate it. That makes you lose any belief in the Better Business Bureau. I mean, literally go look up Rushmore Loan Management and the Better Business Bureau and see what you see. I mean, you'll be astounded. Like I said, we got lots more stuff to share with you on that topic. But again, I appreciate you guys being here. If you guys are in my Entrepreneurial Rockstars group, I apologize. I missed the 11:15 broadcast this morning. I'm going to do it right after I finish this one. And so I just want you guys to know that you guys are appreciated, that I'm here. I am working for you. I'm taking the information that we have and trying to give us a voice, because, I think many of us are tired, especially with wearing masks all the time. We feel like we're muzzled like a dog. I don't want to be a muzzled dog. I want to, step up, stand out, and speak. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. If you're again in the Rockstars, I'm going to go do that broadcast in just about 5 minutes inside there. So feel free to join us in there. If you're not in the Rockstars group, go to VickiFitch.com/freebies if you want. And that's the easiest way to find us. Here, I'll put it in the chat for you. Freebies. And until next time, which is tomorrow at 11:15 a.m. in the Rockstars, or 11:30 right here, I will see you then. And until then, I want to remind you, like I always do, to dream it, believe it,